Hello, everyone, and welcome to the official Zen Project 8 coaching experience. I'm Kasaya J. I want to welcome all of you who are tuning in for our show tonight. I'm here with New York Times bestselling author, celebrity fitness and nutrition expert, our Zen brand ambassador, Mark McDonald. Hi, Mark.
Hello, Kasaya. I am excited for tonight. It's about eating better and having some fun with our food.
I am so excited. And guys, we have a very special guest joining us from Boston, Massachusetts. We've got super chef Valerie Cogswell. Hi, Val.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. Can't wait to share some of my favorite tips with everyone today.
We are very excited. All right, guys, stay tuned because Val is going to be sharing some amazing tips with you guys on how to make healthy food taste awesome. So, we're talking all about food, but for those of you who are maybe joining for the first time, I want to invite you to take a look at zenproject8.com. That's where you can get started. All the information that you need is available on this website, so let's go ahead and take a peek. I'll share my screen with you. Couple of quick things that we want to share. There are guides on this website, so it's zenproject8.com, and on this site, you can download all of your phase guides. So there are 3 phases to Zen Project 8, so you want to make sure that you download the guides. We also want to invite you to visit our private community. It's at facebook.com/groups/Zen Project 8. You want to go there because we've got all of the steps that you need to get started, and our private Facebook community is where we all spend a ton of our time, so make sure that you are tuning in there. Also, another special announcement. Right now, we are running this amazing PFC salad contest. So
Yay!
hopefully you guys have seen this, and lots of good things happening. Apparently, May is National Salad Month. So, Mark, I'm going to hand this over to you. Fill our audience in on what we're doing here.
You know, I love that there's actually a National Salad Month. How far have we come as a society? That's what we should be celebrating.
Indeed.
So, everyone, thanks so much for submitting your salads. It's so cool. I love when the team came up with this and we looked at, okay, how can we make this so that everyone loves salads, but how do we make it so it's PFC approved, it looks good, it tastes great, and that's what this show is all about. So every week for all of May, we're announcing each week's winner. And on the blog, which Kasai just shared and I posted it in the Facebook group, you can read all the details on where you should submit your recipe, how you should submit it, so it all goes. But let's get the drum roll ready, Kasai. You got it going for me?
Yeah, I know we already have a winner. Let's hear it. Drum roll.
The winner, and I'm going to share my screen on this. The winner is Amy Key. Let's give Amy a big hand. So Amy made this delicious shrimp salad. You can see this picture. She's got like how she made. I love just how beautiful it looks. Like she did the prep stuff. I know Chef Valerie will love this, and the look of it. Now we're gonna make a blog post of this. We're gonna be able to share this in the group, so you'll get your hands on this amazing shrimp salad tomorrow. And massive congrats to Amy, because when you win, not only do you get your blog post, you also win an entire Zen Awaken pack, which is the detox phase pack for your efforts for creating a masterpiece salad for our community. So congrats, Amy.
Congratulations, Amy. Not a bad gig, guys. Listen, step up your game, all right? We want to see these gorgeous photographs inside of our Facebook community. Secondly, we want you to get creative. That's what we're talking about tonight, is how to be creative with your food, and Val's going to share some amazing tips. And there's still 3 more weeks of submissions left, so who knows? You could be the winner, so post those up in the group. All right. So normally, you guys know, we do rapid Q&A, and we also do our All-Stars, but this week we're going to do rapid Q&A very quickly, and since we have a very special guest, I want to invite you guys, post up in the group, because we're going to save our All-Stars for next week, so that means you have 1 more week to be posting away and sharing great content, because you could be an All-Star on next week's show. All right, rapid Q&A. Mark, are you ready? I've got 5 awesome questions for you. I
think I'm ready, but I did my stretching. I'm ready to rock and roll.
All right, question number 1. Here we go. When are more recipes going to be added to zenproject8.com?
Yeah, so everyone, I know that we want recipes. That's why this webcast is all about food. So we have 50-plus Detox Ignite Thrive approved recipes. They're being worked on and coded. All you have to do is go to Zen Project 8. There's a recipe tab there. There's about 12 there right now. But I talked to my buddy Austin Larson, and they are actively working on adding more and more on that. Now, until then, we do have more recipes that you can dive into. And that's what I think, Kasaya, that's our second rapid QA, isn't it?
It is. I thought you were going to take it, but that's all right. Let me ask it. Second question is, okay, we have great recipes. Where can I find them?
So until they're on the website, in your Facebook group, that's what you're doing. You know, you have a great one that's coming tomorrow from Amy Key on the shrimp salad. But I have 4 that we've already posted in the group and many more. And I'm going to rapidly share my screen and show this. I'm going to do rapid screen share here. So let's see if I can do this. So the first one is we have a Berrylicious smoothie right here that's been in the group. And this is a fantastic recipe. ZenFuse approved. You rock and roll with that. And then we have another one if I come here. And I'm going to show you 2 more here. We have a lime green chicken salad. I mean lime green chicken. Yeah, grilled chicken with watermelon and avocado salsa. So you can dive right into that as well. And then the last one, and these are all in the group, the last one that I'm going to show you is going to be one of my favorites, a turkey burger with a sweet potato bun. Does it get better than that? Turkey burger with a sweet potato bun. So let me pull that one up here for you. So that's right.
Can you pull that one right up on my desk right here, please?
What if we could do that? What if we could just think about it and the food would be available? Valerie, work on that for us.
We need to download food straight from the internet, please.
And actually, let me show one more before we go to our third rapid Q&A. I know this isn't super rapid here, but the last one is a cool one that is, when we talk about detox phase, that's a big question we get. What about some detox recipes? I know this says Ignite, but this is also detox approved. Egg white, but pancake. And this was made from a great Kashan, I think it's Kashan Kurbis. But what a recipe here when you look at egg whites, almond butter, or your favorite nut butter, half banana, and a pinch of cinnamon. Super clean, super simple. So right there you have multiple recipes you can dive from in the group, on the website, and trust me, many more will come, and they'll be easy to share right from ZenProject8.com.
Right on. And again, be a contributor, guys. Part of what makes our group so amazing is that we are all collaborating and all adding great things. So make sure you're posting up your recipes. And we are going to take quite a turn here for our next question, which is, what should I do if I am constipated?
This is funny because every week I go through this stuff, and I love the transition there, Kasaya. So this has been a big one. And Renita Brennan, who, you know, Baby Hope's birthday was yesterday. She's born the same day as Renita Brennan. So they're forever connected. But Renita's been texting me probably every day. You must do a video on constipation. So I will be doing a little video on my iPhone that I'll post in the group on constipation. And this is the deal. Most people come to your digestive system. Many of us never suffer from constipation. So if you haven't, you just keep living the program, doing that. Make sure ZenFuse is loaded with probiotics, with fiber. You stay regular. But if you suffer a little bit from that, that's why it's important that you drink your water and that you add additional fiber. So a few additional strategies. Psyllium husk. Add probably 1 to 3 teaspoons 3 times a day. So I would do 3 teaspoons 3 different times a day. So 1 teaspoon in the morning, 1 teaspoon at lunch, 1 teaspoon at dinner. Second, magnesium is great for regularity. Focus on, based on the dosage you start with just the 500 milligrams, and you can add more if you want from there. And then the third thing, flaxseed or chia seed. We talk about omega-3s. So you should be already taking an omega-3 fatty acid like a fish oil, but if you take a flaxseed and you grind it up and you add that to maybe your oatmeal as your fat, or if you're in the detox phase, you can add that to your shake. That helps with regularity. And drink your water. If you feel full, if your body's not accustomed to the amount of food you're taking in, just do half meals, get regular, your body will adapt and it will process it. But no one wants to be constipated, so please implement these strategies, reach out to the group, and I'll have a cutting-edge video for you shortly. But Renita Brennan is an expert at this, so keep reaching out to Renita.
She really is, and we'll look for that video, which likely will be viral. So,
yes.
Next question. The next question is, what should I do if I'm not hungry or I'm too hungry?
Yeah, so remember, if you're eating 1 meal a day, and now we're eating 5 meals a day, because that's what you need to do to balance your blood sugar, you may not be hungry. So you eat half meals. I guarantee you within 1 week, your metabolism will be telling you, hey, it's time to eat. So cut your meals in half. Don't worry about not getting enough calories. Remember, when your blood sugar is balanced, your body releases its stored fat. So just do the half meals. If you're always hungry, don't be stingy on your calories. Eat consistently. Add a 6th meal in. If you're eating 6 meals a day and you say, Mark, I'm still hungry, like a Mary Nelson who dropped all that body fat and she's she's texting me saying, I gotta eat more food. Increase your portion size a little bit more protein, a little bit more fat, a little bit more carbohydrates. You can do that. Listen to your body. You want to be satisfied after every meal and then ready to eat when it's time to eat.
Such a great point too, is listen to your body. I think oftentimes people think this is so strict, but in PFC we do talk about, obviously using your inner guide to know what's right for you. So pay close attention to how you feel also. The next question, Mark, is a big one, especially now since, we go through Project 8, which is 8 weeks, but we also have this lifestyle transformation. And the question coming in now is, for people who are stuck, when they are at a plateau, what do you recommend?
Yeah, so in life, you will plateau multiple times. We think we're unhealthy for years, and we put on all this weight. But no one ever gains 100 pounds typically in a year. This creeps up on you, or 50 pounds. But then we start dropping weight in the detox phase, and that's our water weight. We get so excited, we give our body an oil change. And then we get to ignite phase, and we progress a little bit, but then it slows down, and we're all, man, I'm done. Your body needs to recalibrate. So you have an internal set point. It's like a thermostat in a room. Your body tells it to burn calories or waste energy. And you have to reprogram that with consistency. So you will plateau. How do you break through that? You first accept, I'm going to plateau. Second, you keep eating clean and you increase your exercise. This is why we talk about clean food. So let's say you're living the thrive phase and you're starting to plateau. Go back to the ignite phase. Clean up your protein, fat, carbs. Exercise-wise, if you're only walking 4 days a week for 30 minutes, you got to activate your white muscle fiber with some interval training. So diversify your exercise. Your body is the greatest adapter at whatever you throw at it. It's an amazing machine. So adjust, diversify, continue to challenge it. That will reprogram your body, activate more muscle fibers, and burst you through that plateau.
Perfect. Great advice. Okay, so that concludes our rapid fire session. As always, Mark, you're a genius. Thank you for your expert advice. And like I said, guys, we're bringing back All-Stars next week. So if I were you, I would be looking for value-added content that I could post up in the group. That being said, next week, we're going to add a new segment to our show. Mark and I are all about changing things up, diversifying, keeping it fresh, right? So we're going to add a new segment, which is going to be called Kasaya's Corner. So I want to know how I can add value to you guys. You know me, you see me on Facebook, I'm a big part of Jeunesse, I travel the world. So what questions do you have for me, and where can I add the most value for you? So let me know what you would like to hear from specifically in my corner, and we're going to add that fun segment. And without further ado, I'm so excited about tonight's show because we are talking all about food, and so I'm eager to bring on our very special guest. Mark, I want to give you the honor of introducing this fine young lady so that you can give her the proper introduction.
I'm so excited to introduce our guest and our super chef. But Kasaya, I want to share with you the Kasaya Corner thing I'm super excited about because I believe these webcasts that we're doing each week is for you, the audience. You're watching. This is about providing you with value content and looking at just not how your food's better, how your exercise better, but little tidbits on how you make your health work into your busy world. That's what we want to help you with as you rock the Zen program and Zen lifestyle. Now, our super chef. This is a lady that I've known since 2003. I can't believe it's been 13 years. She still looks like she's 20.
Thanks.
she is one of to me, the greatest PFC Eating in 3 chef I've ever had the opportunity to meet. And I've known many chefs. I believe she's the genius at making healthy food taste amazing. We talked about, as Kasai and I said, who do we want to bring on for this? And I said, there's only one person, super chef Valerie Cogswell. So without further ado, I know Kasai, you're going to walk her through. Val's got 5 amazing tips. But Valerie, I love you. It's an honor that you're on the show. And I'm so excited that the community is going to get to hear more from you. And this is just the beginning.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you. I know we do have 5 great questions for you, and we've seen your work. You have done some of our recipes for our Zen project, and
yes.
One of the questions our audience really wants to know, I mean, we think of adding flavor to food, right? We usually think of high fatty foods or lots of sodium, lots of salt, flavorings, all these things, salad dressings, etc. So help us add flavor to our foods and do it without adding all those calories. So how do we cook with flavor or intensity and not add all that extra fats and calories?
All right, I'm going to give you some chef secrets right now, and anybody can do this stuff in the kitchen. You do not need to be a chef to do this, but there's like a handful of foods out there or let's say group of foods out there that are low in calories but packed with tons and tons and tons of flavor. So garlic would be an obvious one, right? Garlic is going to add a ton of flavor to everything from, your savory dishes, your chicken dishes, your beef dishes, your sauces. And shallot is a really cool one. We use this as chefs a lot. And, when you go to a restaurant, you taste like this really flavorful sauce, this really flavorful dish. A lot of times there's shallot in there. And shallot is just a mix of like a garlic and onion, but it's like mellow flavor. It looks like a little mini onion, and you chop it like an onion. And you can add that to salad dressings, amazing, any savory dishes. I am a huge, huge fan of fresh herbs. Like cilantro is one of my favorites. Fresh basil, thyme is awesome. It's really lemony and peppery, so good with chicken. Fresh dill, sage, rosemary. Fresh herbs add so much flavor to your meals. And you can find those in the produce section of your local market, just in little packages. And they're awesome. And most of them keep fairly well in the fridge. What else? Acid. Using acid in your dishes is super important. A splash of wine to finish a dish. A splash of vinegar, like apple cider vinegar or white wine vinegar, or even balsamic, champagne vinegar, whatever you have on hand. I finish dishes with a splash of vinegar all the time. And then, of course, you can go super natural to just a squeeze of fresh lime, squeeze of orange, squeeze of lemon. So those different foods right there, like we were talking earlier about this awesome salad contest that the Zen Project is doing. You could totally make a really good salad dressing. Let's say if you chop some shallot really, really tiny, like minced it, and then you can whisk that up with some extra virgin olive oil, an acid like vinegar, fresh lemon or lime, and then you can add your fresh herbs and a touch of some of your favorite seasonings like black pepper or paprika. And then to balance it, sometimes if you feel like it's a little too sharp, like too much acidic flavor, you can add just a touch, depending on what phase you're in. If you're in like Thrive phase or whatever, phase 3, a touch of like maple syrup or something like that to kind of balance it. But so it's like finding these like super easy, low calorie foods that anyone can use that add so much flavor. They take a dish from flat and boring, which a lot of healthy dishes can be, unless you add these type of like impact ingredients, basically.
I love everything you just said, and they're all really things that I do in my kitchen. Now, I hate to admit it because I travel so much. I don't cook as much as I used to, but it's something I really enjoy doing. And it wasn't until I moved to Texas, which was 6 years ago, that I used shallots for the first time in my life. Good. I was always intimidated by them, but I actually love them now. I feel more sophisticated when I cook with them, so they're super fun. And I try to stay away from foods that are processed. So, guys, instead of buying salad dressings, make your own. Then you know the ingredients that are in them. You can make them as natural and as few ingredients as possible. Like you said, I've done that before by even just adding a little bit of like champagne mustard to a dressing with some balsamic, a little bit of Truvia or sweetener to kind of sweeten it a little bit. It has been amazing. And fresh herbs just make everything so much better. So guys, amazing tips. And salad, my goodness, I've got to be seeing like a ton of salad submissions after this show because you just knocked it out of the park with that. So thank you for sharing those amazing tips with us. What incredible value. Just on the first question, so I got to hurry up because now I'm talking too much. Second question is seasoning and cooking, like actually cooking. How do you add some different flavor profiles to your food? Like how can we make it so it's not just like, I know sometimes people just cook and they don't really get creative. They maybe cook something, add a little bit of garlic salt or add salt to it. But how can you cook like in layers?
Yeah, the cooking and seasoning in layers is so big. Whenever I do cooking demos, it's easier to show this than explain it, but I'm going to do my best. So let's say you are making a soup in a pot, right? And you've got like your veggies, your garlic, your carrot, your celery, your onion. Maybe you have some chicken in there. Maybe you have some spices and your hopefully organic, high quality stock that you buy or broth, whatever. So a lot of times people just throw everything in a pot and turn it on. And you will get some flavor that way for sure. Like if you crock pot it, totally. But this is what cooking in layers and seasoning layers is. Let's say instead of me just throwing everything in the pot, let's say I heat up a big pot, and let's say I add a little bit of olive oil. I let that get hot, and then I stir fry my veggies. Maybe I've got my carrot, my celery, my onion, my hard, crispy veggies that take the longest to cook. Then I season those up with salt and pepper. I let those cook first. Then I'll go ahead and add in maybe my chicken. And then I'll add in my stock, and then I'll add in my spinach. But I'm seasoning and cooking in layers. I'm not just dumping everything in a pot. And it makes such a difference, especially if you're adding meat. You never want to add that in the beginning to like a sauce or a stew or a soup, because then it can kind of dry out a little bit. So it's really nice kind of getting your veggies in there, those building up flavor, seasoning those, then adding maybe your meats and your liquid, like your stock, and letting that come to a gentle simmer and kind of getting flavor that way versus just throwing everything in all at once. And tasting as you go is super important, because sometimes things can get too salty, too spicy, and sometimes it's too late. And so if you just season in layers and taste in layers and cook in layers, you can adjust as you go. And it makes such a difference when you're cooking healthy.
So can I interject real quick?
Yes.
So I'm a man, and I throw it all in one pot and just cook.
You can totally do that.
But
I know that.
But Valerie, all my food is so dry, no one will ever eat it. Where like Abby will do like her layer cooking. I just lack the patience for it. So now I understand why no one will eat my food and everyone will eat Abby's food. Thank you. Because I'm a man cave cooker.
You need to. Yeah, you need a cookbook, Mark, that says Man Cave Cooker. We just got to tweak some things just a little bit. Add the meat later. And, okay, we'll talk about cooking layers. One more tip. Garlic. People always add garlic at the beginning when they're sauteing things. It gets bitter and it burns. And so you want to add garlic later on in the dish. You don't want to add it too soon, because then it gets dark and it burns and the whole dish is bitter and it's terrible.
What a great tip. Yeah, it's just knowing those little things that can change the entire dynamic of your food prep. And I love how you talk with such passion about the food that you're preparing. And what I found too is like anytime I'm rushed or in a hurry, it never turns out as good as when I'm like so excited to prepare it. So I also think that like the love we give our food actually matters, guys. So it's like little things like that. And listen, if you don't have time to cook in layers, then don't do it. But if you do and you want to make something really amazing, I would definitely utilize those tips. I think they are remarkable. So we talked a little bit about, you know, the crock pot jokingly. And of course we know there's a variety, like I love to roast my vegetables in the oven. So there's all kinds of ways that we can cook. So let's talk about cooking methods that actually add flavor. Like what can we do? How can people prepare their food that's maybe quick, fast, and easy, but also going to give them the maximum flavor that they want?
Yes, totally. So we know that like boiling and steaming is like healthy or whatever, but you know, you're not adding any fat, but it's kind of boring. If I just steam broccoli, you know, and sometimes I do, but if I want to take that broccoli and make it taste amazing, I'll roast it instead. So quick broccoli recipe for everybody that I just kind of worked on a few weeks ago and have been in love with since. I'll just take a head of broccoli, chop it up into florets, you know, chop it up into little pieces, toss it with a little olive oil, some fresh lemon, garlic, touch of sea salt, black pepper, roast it like 400 degrees until it's slightly charred. It is amazing. Amazing. So much better than just, you know, steamed or broiled broccoli. Or, steamed or broiled. And then meat is super important too. How you cook your meat rather than just boiling meat or steaming chicken or just throw it in the oven baked. You can pan sear it. And do you want me to go over how to pan sear really quickly? I can teach you that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I have a quick question for you before you start that. Your broccoli recipe you just threw out. Would you be willing to put that in our group? Can you add that?
Sure. I would love to add that to the group. I think that's such a good one. It's super clean, so flavorful. In fact, my nephew, who hates broccoli, ate it and goes, "Mom, this isn't broccoli." He didn't even believe it was broccoli, so that's pretty cool.
Valerie, and when you do that, when you add it to the group, make sure you say what's the protein, what's the fat, what's the carb. What I love about the recipes you do is you say what's missing. So what's the balance? Yeah. So the broccoli would obviously be a carb. That could be also free food as well. You have the olive oil as your fat. Talk about, you know, when you post that, say what's missing. So everyone in the group, as you see this recipe, you get a clear vision of what you need to add to whatever phase you're in, whether it's detox, ignite, or thrive.
Yeah,
maybe she can add the sautéed chicken she's going to tell us about right now.
Yes.
Yeah, we can do that. Okay, so we talk about pan-searing meat. When you pan-sear meat, it's when you get that nice golden crust on the top. Think like perfectly seared scallops, or like the perfect fillet, or like chicken. So when you get that golden crust, it locks in the juices and it gives it ton of flavor. So here's a really great way of doing it, because a lot of times we just take a cold piece of meat, slap it in a pan, and we wonder why it doesn't taste good. What you want to do first is you want to bring your meat to room temperature. I'm not saying leave it out all day, but your meat's not going to go bad if you leave it out for like 40 minutes on the counter while you're doing your prep work. But it's really tough when you take a cold piece of meat and put it in a hot pan. It's going to cool the temperature of the pan. You're not going to get that really nice sear you're looking for. So you want to bring the meat to room temperature, right? And then we want to season it up. You could do cumin, paprika, rosemary, your fresh herbs, a touch of salt if you're past ignite and detox phase, black pepper, all of that. You need a good pan. I want to show you a pan that I have. This is my pan. Can you guys see that okay?
Yep.
It looks like every other pan, of course, but it's like heavy. It's a good pan. Buy yourself one quality pan for sure, because your food will taste so much better. And that's called a Scan pan, by the way. It's kind of expensive, but I'll have it forever, and it's worth it to me. So then you get your pan nice and hot on medium high. You get the pan hot, and then you add your olive oil or a natural propellant-free cooking spray. And so it's pan hot, the cooking spray, or the oil hot before you add the meat in. So pan hot, cooking spray, or oil hot, then you add the meat in. When you add the meat, I don't care if it's chicken, scallops, filet, whatever it is, I usually take my hand and place it in, and I make it so that there's plenty of room surrounding each piece. So I'll just dump it in there, but I give each piece plenty of room, and then you don't want to mess with it. You want to let it get a nice golden crust on each side for a few moments, and then once you see that the first side is nice and golden, flip it over, don't touch it again, let it sear, let it do its thing, and then if it's a thick piece of meat, like say it's a thick piece of chicken or it's a thick filet, you can finish it in the oven, pan and all. Just take the whole pan, stick it in a 300-degree oven or 350-degree oven for a couple minutes till the inside cooks. And then when you remove it from the pan, make sure you have a pot holder. Made that mistake before.
Exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm starving, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I know I'm gonna be like cooking dinner after this.
Yeah.
So I love that you showed us your pan, and I'm actually very curious about that because I love investing in good things, and I think that's part of what we always talk about too. Is like you invest in it once. You know you need to have your kit that you can travel with. You need to have great stuff, food storage for food prep. But part of making this whole process work is the tools that we have. So why don't you share with our audience some of your favorite tools that you use in your kitchen?
Yeah, see, I love to cook. I love flavor and seasoning and all that good stuff. I hate doing dishes, number one. And number two, yeah, seriously. And I hate prep work. Like, I hate chopping. I just want to hire somebody. Like, sometimes I make my mom, I'll, like, hire her with me for an event and just make her do the chopping because it's so much work. So to make it easy, get yourself a really good knife. Now, I'm going to pull out a knife. Don't get scared here. This is a French knife or a chef knife, right? See, the tip is thinner and then it gets thicker towards the edge. This is perfect for chopping because you do a rocking motion, right? This is like what you want to cut vegetables with, fruit with, things like that. To give you an example, my mom uses a serrated knife, a bread knife, to cut veggies, and I swear it makes me insane. So when she's with me, I make her use a good knife. But a great knife is worth an investment, for sure. Okay, this is one of my favorite little tools here. This is a microplane. And a microplane you can get for like $4 at like Target. And a lot of people just think it's for Parmesan cheese. I grate garlic with this because to me there's nothing worse than chopping garlic for 20 minutes. Because usually when I'm prepping, if I'm prepping for an event or something, I have to chop like 10 cloves of garlic. And if I'm doing it with my knife, it's going to take me forever. So I literally peel the garlic and then I just shave it along with my microplane. And it gets nice and like little tiny pieces like grated. So this way when you cook it in your dish, that garlic is being dispersed. You're not getting those huge chunks of garlic.
Yep.
All right, one more tool that I'm obsessed with. This, you guys see this okay?
Ooh, that's a good
That was complicated.
It's not. Look, if you and your man cave could handle this.
I'm doing everything wrong. That's all I know from this webcast. I'm doing everything wrong.
No. All right, so
Not
this is a
feeling
weird
good
one.
about myself right now.
Oh, Mark, it's all right. You're doing great. Thank God you have Abby. All right, so this is called a hand immersion blender. All you do is you take this blade part and you stick it in like your soup, and you on the handle there's like a button, and it purees everything for you. So let's say you want like a blended creamy vegetable soup. You saute your veggies, you add your stock, you let it simmer, you get the flavor right. You season layer, cooking layers, and then say you want to blend it all together, get a nice creamy soup like a sweet potato soup. You just stick that immersion blender right in the soup, and it will do all the work for you. And it's awesome. And then you just kind of clean the top of it and you put it away and it's great. And that's like $30 max at like Target or Walmart, anywhere, you know?
That is so funny. I just saw my assistant. I follow her Snapchat, and I saw her. She used that to blend her protein shake. I'm not even kidding you.
No way!
She was like, oh, and then I just stick my blender in here, and she just put her protein powder and everything in like her big blender thing, but I don't know if it was dirty or she just didn't want to fire it up, but she used that sucker to make that shake, and I thought, rock on, it's a great way to use it. So it's a tool that actually you can use on a variety of levels. I love that one. Another one of my favorite tools that I love to use is the mandolin, the slicer, because I love to chop vegetables and cucumbers. I'll just slice a bunch of cucumbers, and that's like my snack at night if I know I shouldn't be. I've had my meals for the day, like I'm going to bed, but I just want to like snack on something instead of potato chips or something. I'll use those sliced cucumbers, and I keep them. So a mandolin is a tool that I love. But excellent input. I love this. This is fun. We should do this more often and just have where we talk about.
I would love to.
Okay,
I love it. It's like I'm learning everything.
You know what, Mark? Why don't you come on? I feel like we've been talking the whole time.
I love that you're talking. I am not qualified to talk on this, so I am learning and I'm getting better at it. You want me to go to Costco and buy a bunch of food? I'm your man.
Okay.
Perfect. So, all right, Val, one more tip maybe you can share with all of us, and this is healthy food swaps, and like the eat this, not that kind of thing.
Yes.
What can you swap out?
Oh my goodness, I'm the queen of healthy food swaps for sure. Like, I've done so much research on this. So, okay, processed white sugar we know is bad for us, causes inflammation, major spike in blood sugar, can lead to, weight gain, all that good stuff, diabetes. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll swap processed white sugar for like coconut sugar, an organic coconut sugar, which is made just from coconuts. And that's a great way to, still get a sweetness in, say if you're making a baked good or something, without getting the processed white sugar. And then even in my baking these days, I'll use pure maple syrup or honey. I haven't touched white sugar in years, and I love it. Like, I've come up with all these creative ways to avoid white sugar entirely. And so I might do like a pure maple syrup plus like mashed banana, or I make brownies sometimes with pureed blackberries and honey, and they're so good. Yum. Yes. All right. And then instead of white flour, another thing which I prefer not to touch, I'm a big fan of gluten-free flours. Even if you're not gluten-free white flours are awesome. So Bob's Red Mill gluten-free oat flour, I bake with this all the time. I make apple crisps with it. I make breads with it. And then there's Bob's Red Mill all-purpose almond flour, which is literally just ground almonds, just like oat flour is ground oats. It's super clean. And then if you need like more of a white flour, but you're looking for something that doesn't cause as much inflammation and bloating, and you want to go gluten-free, Namaste, Namaste, Foods, their gluten-free perfect flour blend, I really like to work with. I think it's pretty versatile, and I'm digging that one. So those are like my healthy flour and sugar swaps. And then I've got a few sauces that I'm a little obsessed with these days. I'll show you the first one. Now, okay, let's be super clear. This is like Thrive phase, guys. This is not detox phase, but it's still clean for what it is. Yeah. This is Wing Time buffalo wing sauce. It's just a natural, clean buffalo wing sauce. I mean, it's the cleanest one I found so far, but I get it at like Whole Foods or like a natural market. And it's got it's gluten-free, all natural, no preservatives, which is really nice. So I like to make like chicken tenders with that. I make buffalo chicken chili with that. And then I also like for sriracha sauce, because we know sriracha is awesome, but you just use a tiny bit because it's super spicy and super salty. It's called Lee Kum Sriracha Chili Sauce, spelled L-E-E, then K-U-M. Their sriracha sauce is gluten-free with no artificial colors or preservatives. Because I found a lot of them do have those things. Yeah. So. And then there is a barbecue sauce out there, which obviously has a little bit of your sweetness, so you cut back on the carbs elsewhere. But the Organicville original barbecue sauce, it's sweetened with agave nectar instead of white sugar, which is pretty rare. And it's gluten-free, so.
I'm excited for that one right there, Valerie.
Yeah, it's really good, too. The flavor's awesome. So, the great thing is nowadays everyone's making these really awesome foods that are all natural and taste phenomenal. It's not like 20 years ago or even 10 years ago. There's so many options today. It's just a matter of like reading labels and experimenting,
Yep, there really are. And that's always what I try to do is like the least processed, right? So
yes.
You get the closest to natural as possible. And I'm a bit like I have to dip everything. It's like it's a personality fault that I have, but I I love that. So the barbecue sauce that you mentioned, the wing sauce, like that's perfect, guys. Make some grilled chicken and then just dip a little bit. Like you don't have to go crazy.
Yeah.
You don't even have to cook your food in the sauces. What I found too is not even cooking them in sauces. Sometimes I just use it on the side just to dip, which is perfect. Val, I want to bring Mark back in, but I do have a couple of great questions that are coming through the Hangout site. So I feel like our audience, they're like loving the show tonight, and I want to just acknowledge some of the questions that they have.
Don't bring me back in. I'm having fun.
Yeah. So,
I'm taking notes.
Right?
I'm ready.
I think everyone is. They're calling heavily. So Deborah says, the blackberry brownie recipe, please. Obviously, everyone wants to hear that.
Okay.
Jerry, hi Jerry. Thanks for tuning in. They're asking for the name of the pan that you showed, the brand of the pan, I think, and the brand of the knife. So if you would do us all the honor of showing that again and then maybe also posting this up in the group so we can all help one another.
Totally. Okay. So this pan is a scan pan. I'm not going to lie, it's super pricey. It just happens to be the one that I like, and for what I do for a living, it makes sense. I think this pan is like $200. So ask for it for like your birthday or something, you know? You can totally go to like another like Bed Bath Beyond or like, you know, anywhere and just get a heavy bottomed like high quality pan. And make sure it's one that doesn't rock, you know. You want something that's like heavy bottomed and just sturdy. Cast iron skillets are kind of fun too. Okay, and knife wise, this is actually my boyfriend's knife. This is a Zwilling, a Kramero Zwilling. Yeah, okay, let's spell that. Kramero by Zwilling. My favorite knife that I use is a Wusthof. I don't know how to spell that, but I swear if you just Google Wusthof knives, it's a huge brand. It's well made, and they have lots of different sizes because this knife is kind of even big for me. So those are kind of some of the brands that I love.
To you, that's a knife. To me, that's a weapon. So
no, I know. I almost cut my finger off with it, so I get it.
Your house, it's like cooking and protection, doesn't
it?
So therefore, we justify the expense of investing in good things.
Totally.
No, the pan's a good weapon too. I mean, that seems heavy.
Right?
Yeah.
What you can do in your kitchen, it's amazing. This has been so much fun, Valerie. We just adore you. What amazing tips. Thank you for adding so much value to our community. I know they're all super excited to hear from you inside of our group. I'm sure they have many more questions that they would love to ask you. And I would love to bring you back on as a regular contributor. I think it would be really fun to come up with some great ideas and keep offering this type of value to our community. So on behalf of all of our viewers watching, thank you so much. And Mark, I want to invite you to come back in, give us some final thoughts. How much fun it's been tonight. Sorry you've been hanging out watching the show.
That's my favorite show, to hang out and watch it. I mean, I just love, you know, we all have our own style. This is what I take from this show. If you're bored with your food, you will fall off your plan and you will struggle with your health. You have to look and expand yourself. So as much as I want to be in my man cave, I get that I need to expand my things, and I have to look at different knives and different pots and all of these things in pans, and that's why Val and like the barbecue sauce, like that's amazing for me out of the gate. I've been cooking with garlic from the get-go forever, and it's consistently causing me problems because now I understand it tastes bitter. So these little tips, this is why we want to bring value. So I want you to write this down this week. Food is your friend. Food is your foundation. And if you're bored with your food, you will fall off your program. Thank you so much, Valerie. Kasai, thanks so much. It's been awesome to kind of be on the sidelines and hear everything. And community, thank you for everything you do. And we want Valerie back because the value she brings is amazing. Thanks so much.
Right
Thanks,
on.
guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, Valerie, thank you so much for watching. Guys, if you loved this show, make sure you share it with everyone you know, love, and care about. Leave your questions, comments, and feedback in the sidebar. Look for Valerie. She'll be joining our community with some great tips for you guys coming up. And don't forget, tune in right here at hangouts.zenproject8 next week because we've got another very special guest with you. We're going to be talking all about breaking through your plateaus, so you won't want to miss that show. We'll see you next week on the next Zen P8 Hangout. See you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.